First of all, we discuss about action element in JSP. So if we're talking about action element is JSP, it's used to perform a specific action in JSP page. These elements allow you to execute Java code or perform other actions like forwarding to another page or servlets, including another JSP file, setting attributes, and many more. So what exactly we are talking about is, if we want to perform some action like forwarding a page, like including some page in our JSP page, like including Java beans for get setter and for getter and setter methods. So if we want to perform such operations, such actions, and many more other actions in JSP page, we use action element. So if we want to do some operations like to include some file in our JSP page, then we have here JSP include tag. This include contents of another JSP or HTML file in current JSP page. Like we use such code if we want to add some file in our JSP page. This would include the context of header.jsp file in the current JSP file. So it's very important tag if we want to add some files in our file, like or HTML file in JSP page, we can use include action element. Like in the same manner, if you want to forward a request to another JSP page, so if you want to forward a request to another JSP page, we use JSP forward, and the JSP, the file will be created and this file will be executed. This would forward the request to the other JSP. So these two tags are there. Let's first discuss about these two tags, and then after we are discussing about others. So for that we need some applications to see the demonstrations part, and let me go to C drive and program files, Apache Software Foundation 10.1, web apps folder, and in web apps folder let me use one new JSP project, and the project name is action in JSP. So this is our root directory name. Now let me create web inf. Okay, so web inf is created. This is time to create inside the web inf classes, and okay, structure is ready. We need not to include more. So structure is ready. This is time to write some code, and let me open edit plus. In edit plus we create one JSP file, and in this JSP file Let me save first of all this file, and this file name is index.jsp. Let me save it. Okay, so this is index.jsp file, and I just write some code like h1, put it some heading here. Let me close h1. I just print this is index.jsp file in my project. So I just write a simple string, and let me use some center tag. Okay, so it's a simple file, and let me create XML file. So I need one XML file. Let me save the file inside the web.inf folder. 1 second. So web.xml. Now we need a web app folder. Let me close web app folder. Okay, so let me close it, and then I need one more tag, welcome file list. Okay, and let me close this welcome file list. So let me close this welcome file list, and inside the welcome file list need welcome file, and so now close that welcome file. Okay, and my welcome file is index.html. Let me save it. Okay, so my XML is ready. Now this is the time to make another JSP file, and let me add one more JSP file, and let me save that. This is I must say second.jsp. So this file name is second.jsp. Let me save it, and I have two file here. First one is index.jsp, and second one is a second.jsp. So let me write some code in this second.jsp. Now body, and close the body tag, and then close the HTML tag. Okay, now inside the body tag, let me put some h1 tag and print this is second.jsp file in this program, and let me close h1 tag, and I want to print this in center, so I just use center tag, and okay, so I just simply use the center tag here, and we have a two file. Let me give some background color on it. Some color is, let me choose some more colors. Okay, and save it. This is a output. This is a second JSP file in this program. Okay, now I have a two files. First one is this one and second one is this. Output of this file is, okay, wait, maybe, so this is actually I'm not writing much code of HTML, or syntax is not available HTML, that is why it's not running here. So okay, we can run this file in a web server, but what we learn in the theory part is we can use JSP include action element to add the file on that page. So if I am going to use this page, I have to mention the file name, and my file name is second.jsp. So this line is just including this second.jsp file in my index.jsp, and for that I just want to give some br tag for better understanding of the code. So I just give some br tag, and let me start the server first. So we revise it. I start the Tomcat server. Okay, server is started, and let me open the browser. I use Brave, and my URL is http://localhost, and my server is running on 1010. Okay, so my server is running, and I just check manager app. Admin is my username, admin is my password, and I see there's an my file is there, and okay, let me close that one. Let me minimize this one. So it's true, and if I click on action in JSP, so I got an error. And what error I got is action in JSP is not available. Action in JSP is not available. It's not available in server. Let me reload it. So my application. Okay. Let me go to the code folder. Web welcome file list, welcome file name. Okay, let me close once and check in my server whether these files are available or not. So program files, Apache Software Foundation, Tomcat, web apps, application is there. So let me open index. Okay, this is my index. Let me open web. This is my web, and again let me open second. So yeah, file is there, application is also there, server is running, and why error? And the request resource is not available. So let me check code once. So my request resource is second .jsp. Okay. So my okay, so just doing some little bit more manipulations because I want to understand that what is the problem, why not this tag will work. So now this tag will work, don't have any problem. So what I'm doing here is I just make a file here, and this title is I just put it as HTML code in JSP, and put it in h1 some Santa-to codes. Okay, and let me close here. Fine. So this is some code is, and what I just want to do here is, let me http 10 manage app, and reload once, click on action.jsp. Okay. So exactly it's not reading web.xml file, and I'm just provide manually index file. So index.jsp. Okay, see, main JSP will call. This is main JSP page. Now this is second JSP file in this program, so the content is added here, and also background will change and back to the main JSP. So if we see the code, main JSP page, this is main JSP page. Now the second will call, and when this file is called, this is second JSP file. This page in this page will be print, and again back to the first, and then after we see back to the main page. See the output. So this is how we can use include action element tag in our in our JSP page, and it's working properly. Like, we can easily implement it here. And if I commit it, so let me commit the code. If I commit it, and we have another JSP forward. So what is that JSP forward is? And this is forwarded a request to the servlet. So this JSP forward is forwarded a request to the servlets, and this forward a request to another JSP file. And if I want to implement that forward, and I say okay, I forward it to the second.jsp file only, and if I refresh the page, so I get only second.jsp page. Like, now this second.jsp page is not included to the index.jsp page. So this file will be displayed, but this is our second.jsp file. So we see the difference between these two tags. One is used for including the other JSP file, and second for forwarding a request to the JSP file. Like if I want to show some error messages, like page not found message and some other messages, if I want to show in a separate page, then we use JSP forward action elements in our JSP file. So this forward is forwarded the request to the next JSP file, and this is what these two tags stand for. And let's see the next elements in JSP action. So our next element is JSP set property. Set the value of bean properties, like exactly we are talking about Java beans properties. And we also get another elements called get properties, and we get the value from the bean properties. So if you want to set some values to the dot class file or Java beans file, and if you want to get properties elements from the Java beans file, our Pojo class or getter and setter methods are there, we already know about it. So if you want to use Pojo classes, if you want to use bean classes class file with some get and set methods, so to interacting those dot class file, we use these two methods, and also we use bean action tag to attach or to give a scopes to the dot class file. So we have two more methods here, and these two more methods are JSP set properties. So this JSP set properties action tag and JSP get property action tag. So let's see how this set properties and get properties will work. And here we already see some examples, like first of all we use bin tag, and we set some ID, and we can also set the directories of the class. So I use here a user class, and that user class object will be put on the session scope. So this is a use of this use bin tag here. And after that we just printed a welcome. After printing a welcome, we just get a property from the user bin class. So we get a property from the user bin class, and maybe we have a property name there. Our instant variable is there, and the instant variable is name. So I just put it a property name here, and after that we create one form tag here, and we enter some values in text box. After enter some value, I click on submit button. So when I click on submit button, the action will be go to the process form.jsp file, and in this process form.jsp file we perform other operations. And then after form tag we set the properties. And what the property we set the properties of param-age. So parameter age property will set on these name elements. So let's see an example of this set property and get property methods. And for that let me choose, already I have one applications in my web app, so action elements are there. So now I'm not wasting much time to type the code, we just understand what happened in this code. So here in this projects we see one index file, and we see we don't have a web.xml. Where is my web.xml in this file? Okay, here we don't have a web.xml file, so let me create one web.xml file. Welcome file list close. index.jsp. Let me save inside the folder web.xml. Fine. And after that we have one more file called test.bin. This is a Java file. So first of all let's see this text file. So in this text file I have one method, and this method is private, is not public for the outside members of this class, so it's only accessible inside the class, and that is why we used to make this member is a public. And this is a concept of Java Beans, that we make a private member of the class and we can assign a value to this private member by using public methods. And setter and getter methods are there. We see there is a setter and getter methods. If we want to make some change on it, we can make some change on it and perform operations. Like we can make a multiple setter and getter methods and perform multiple operations. Like if I use some more setter and getter, so I can just create more variable name, and let me put my name, and get name, return name, and set name. I just set the name, and like that we can create multiple methods to set method, to get method, to set name, to get name, to set ID, to get ID, to set email, to get email. Like whatever the property we want to use, we can use. And we can also set this object in session, so by using the session object we can also retrieving these values. Okay, so this is our Java Beans class. Let me first compile that class, because we need to compile the class first and then after we'll execute. So Java C 20 dot text.bin.java public void set method definition is class already defined. So maybe some method is already defined and I just redefined it. So is get name and is set name. Okay, now let me compile. Okay, this file will compile, and after compiling the file I get some package here. This is the action package. I just cut those package and just put those package inside the classes. So okay, this package is there. Now let's see the index file and see what exactly this file is dated. So first of all we use JSP USB in tag, and this tag is used to configure the dot class file. So I configure the dot class file and not putting the object of this file in a session, because we are not creating any session, or so that is why we are just creating the or initiate the test bin class. After that, we just set a property, and we set a message. Let me set the message. Message is hello Ravi, this is Java bean. So this is my message, and I printed the message, but before I printed the message, let me set the name. So I use again this method to set the name. So let me set the name, and my name is Ravi Singh Rajput. Property is name, and ID is just use test, no problem, because use bin ID is test. And here I just set it, and after getting message, let me paste it. So while pasting, I just change the name. So Ravi Singh Rajput, this is Java bean, got message, some BR tag, and some message like hello. Okay, and after printing the name, again I use some BR. Fine. So this is my program. I just save it here, and let me go to run it. Press enter. Manager. So action element is my application name for that applications. Click on action element, and we get the output. See, Java beans in JSP. So first of all, we got Java beans in JSP in H2 tag. After getting this Java beans in JSP, our next line is printed is got message. So our next line is printed is got message, and I put it one break and then hello. So after that, I get hello, and then see my name is there. So I see hello, I just get the name. So I getting a name, what the name I am setting in that file, and then after one BR tag, and we get a message. So I must say BR your message is, and then after I just printed a message. Okay, let me push. See your messages. This is Java bin. So like that we can use a action elements in JSP, and we can see how the action element can work in JSP. So we use some elements, there's so many other elements we can use, and we check the libraries. Lots of elements are there, so those elements we can use those elements you can use for any purpose if it is suitable for your projects. And let's see. Okay, this file will okay and is working. And now this is a time to see that what will be happened in that part. Okay, so we have these slides and this will be completed. And after that, so we already discussed about JSP include, we discussed about JSP forward, we discussed about JSP set and JSP get properties. We also see use bin, instantiate a Java beans object, and we exactly create a dot class file and use the Java use bin action elements, and we initiate Java beans object. So I must say that overall JSP action element provide a powerful mechanism for executing Java code or perform other actions in JSP page. They can be used to perform a wide varieties of tasks, for including the content of another JSP file to setting the values of bean properties. And like the same code is there, what the code we are executed, and we also we did some manipulations by creating more getter and setter method in bean or in Java beans class. So okay, after that we see this is all about action elements in JSP, and let's see exception handling. And exception handling is most important part for any applications, because if data is there, if some values are there, if user interactions are there, then definitely some exception is also there. And if some exception is there, we have to handle those exception. So in J2SC we can learn exception handling. In JDBC connection we also use exception handling. In previous program we implemented exception handling when we connect with database, when we run some queries, when we create an object of a statement class, or the we use class dot for names, or we just create a connection objects. So we use exception handling there, but let's discuss here about the theoretical part of the exception handling. So exception handling in Java is an important part of creating robust and reliable web applications. When exceptions occur during the executions of JSP page, it can be handled using various mechanisms provided by JSP. Now here are some way to handle the exception in JSP. So I just put it multiple ways that how we can handle the exceptions in JSP. So the first method we can use is by using a try catch block, and you can use try catch block in your JSP code to catch exceptions and handle them appropriately. For example, like see, so it's not exactly example, the syntax is, so we see there is a try block inside the scriptlet tag, and some exception code is there, and then catch blocks, and then exception handler code is there. And like that, in J2SE we can also implement try and catch in JSP using the page directive. This is the second method. Using the page directory, you can use the page directive to specify the error page that will be displayed if an exceptions occur. For example, so what exactly we did it, if we got some errors, if we got some exceptions, then we use page directives, and this page directives is forwarded request to the error page. So if exceptions are come, this page will call error.jsp. We created one page, and when exceptions are occur, then this page will call and user see the exception. This specify that the error.jsp page should be displayed if exceptions occur in current JSP page. So this is a two-way to handle, and let's see some others way. So this is a third way to handle using the isErrorPage attributes. So you can use the isErrorPage attribute to specify that the current JSP page is an error page and can access the exceptions object using the exception implicit object. For example, we use here page directive, and see, in page directive we use isErrorPage equals to true. Like if the error page equals to true, then in scriptlet we create the object of exceptions, and we request to get attributes from the java x.servlet.error. So exactly we get exception, what exceptions we getting in the JSP, and then print the exceptions. So in this case the JSP page is marked as error page using the isErrorPage attributes, and the exception implicit object is used to access the exception object. So like that we can know what exceptions are occur in our page, and we take this exception in exceptions class object and print this e to getting the exceptions. So this is a third way. We can also use such techniques to handle the exceptions. And if you see a fourth way, using JSP error page. So you can create a separate JSP error page that handles the exceptions and display a user-friendly error message. For example, so there is some example. So we can create a error page. In this we use page directive isErrorPage, and in this we see we just put it an error has occurred and exception dot get message. So what error is occur, error will be displayed in this page, so a user can get to know about it, that okay, some exceptions are occur and this is a problem. In this case the JSP page is marked as an error page, so we already marked this page as a isErrorPage. Using this error page attributes, the exception implicit object is used to display the error message. So I use exception implicit object. We already see a lots of implicit object in our previous sessions and by doing some practicals in JSP. So here we also see that a implicit object is used to display the error message. Now we can see some more things like in exception handling. So basically if you're talking about the exception handling, overall the handling exception in JSP is important for creating robust and reliable web applications. By using try and catch proc, specify error page using the isErrorPage attributes or creating a separate error page, you can handle the exception so you can handle the exception and provide a better user experience. So uh, we can say how many ways, and there is a lots of methods we can handle the exception effectively and perform the exception handling operation in JSP. So if we are going to develop some applications, we can use such techniques, and we see those things that how we can effectively handle these exceptions by using try and catch, by using specifying error page, by using is error page attributes, or by using a separate error page to handle the exceptions. So in this PPT I covered these two topics. First one is a JSP actions, and second one is a exception handling in JSP. So we put both theories, and we also see some practicals of action elements. So okay, this is what we are discuss, and like see let me show you that in which example we use the exception handling. So let's see one example. Already we run those example when we discuss database. So let me open some file and see. Okay, in this file, when we are discussing when we discuss about JSTL by using SQL and core JSTL tag, we can perform different operations, and generally this is in this example we use database by using JSTL tag libraries, and we see the taglib directive tag, and we also discussed at that time that we use page directive, we use taglib directive, and here in that example, okay, one sec, not in that example. In this example this is another program where we use exception handling. See, there is also a program we discussed in last videos, how to connect database by using JSP. So we discussed two methods. First method, without using any JSTL libraries, directly with JSP tag, and second by using JSTL library. So this one without using JSTL library, and here we see we apply try and catch. So we put a try block here, and inside the try block I write a code for driver for connection string for driver manager dot get connections. I write a code for executing a queries. I write a code for reading data from the database. So these all codes are written inside the try block, because I know maybe some error will come in this. So if error will come, a catch block will handle this error, and after the catch is handle the error, we show the error message. And we also use here finally, so we discuss these topics in last session also, when we see the example of JDBC. So see, in finally block again we use try and catch. Why? Because we again check result set object maybe is available or not available. We again check STMP statement object maybe is available or not available. We again check connection object. So might be this object is already closed, and if this object is already closed is writing the error because now we are not found any object, and that is why we use try and catch here, because we don't want to terminate it, we want to check all the lines. And if this object was not closed, so if not equals to null, then rs dot close. If some error is occur, SQL exceptions will handle. So we know that SQL exceptions only occur because we perform some SQL operations here. So that is why we mention SQL exceptions. If we know the error type, what error is comes, better to use the same class to handle the error, like SQL exception, input output exceptions, array index out of bounds exceptions, null pointer exceptions, and arithmetical objections, divide by zero exceptions. So if we know the exception type, then use the appropriate class to handle the exception. So see, for closing all threes, I am using three different try and catch block just for ignoring the error while executing the code. So this is exception handling, and we also see this stuff in few others programs. So I hope you guys are remember. And okay, let me close this one, and let's see some CSP. Okay, let's discuss about one more untouched topic, and this topic is nothing but a custom tag. So let's also discuss about this custom tag. In JSP, you can define custom tag using the JSP tag library called JSTL. Custom tag can be used to encapsulate and reusable piece of functionalities, making it easier to maintain and update your JSP page. To define a custom tag in JSP, if you will need to do the following. So because before we go through it and learn more about the custom tag, let me explain you that what is the need to use that custom tag. See, suppose a few peoples are working in one organization, and some peoples are good in front end and some peoples good in back end, and he working in some project, and this project is use iteration model to develop it. So when the project is used iteration model to develop it, so different modules are working parallelly, and when front-end developers is write the code, he is much more comfortable with front-end technologies. He is much more familiar with a tag based code and he facing a problem to write a backend code or a backend logics. So at that particular time, when he develops some front end page, what he want to process some data to test it. He want to process some logics to test it. So for that purpose, what the backend developers are did it, he created a custom tag. He link a tag to the Java file, or in Java file or in .class file they write a backend logic. So when he want to manipulate something, he just use the tag and this .class file will call and perform the operations. So like that, a front-end developers can easily develop the front-end page, and back-end developers was working on the back-end logic. So this is a basics need to use custom tag. So let's start with the following. So first of all, create a tag handler class. This is a class where we write the logic. So first of all, we create a tag handler class. This class will implement the logic for the custom tag. So in this class only we write all the logic which we need to perform by using the tag. The tag handler class must extend the tag support class. So when we define a class, we have to extend this class with tag support class, and then after define the tag library descriptor. So we need to write TTL file, tag library descriptor file. This file defines the custom tag and its attributes. So like XML, we define TLD file, and this TLD file is tag library descriptor file, and in this descriptor file we write all the custom tag and its attributes. Now once our class file will ready, once our TLD file is ready, use the custom tag in your JSP program. Once you have to define the custom tag, you can use it in your JSP page by referencing the tag library in your JSP page and use this custom tag. So how easy we can use this custom tag? Let's see more about it. So to creating a handler class, what we study is we create a class by extending tag support class, because this is will be help us to make a tag. And in this tag support class we get do start tag. So here we are not getting any do get and do post method. We get here do start, and this do start will throws JSP exception. And see, I'm just in this program we just creating an object of the date class. After creating the object of date class, formatted date string will variable will create, and in this string we just use a date class methods. So we use date format dot get date instant, and date format dot long format is current date. So current date will be the value is assigned to the formatted date variable. Now again there is a try and catch block for exception handling, and just print this date, what the date we are getting from here, and return some values. So we just return a 0 here. So this is tag handler classes. And now let's see, next part is, after defining the tag handler class, we have to define TLD file. So this TLD file is here the step to place .tld file in the web-inf folder. So in this TLD file, what code we are written is this. So taglib, versions of taglib, sort name, so sort name is custom to define the tag, and URI, so full path of this class file or URI. After that we have to mention or define the name attributes, and we also define the body contents. So like that we create a tag class and creating a tag here, and after that we use this tag. So where to place this TLD file? Inside the web-inf directory. Create a new folder web-inf in this root directory of your web applications. Create a new folder named tag inside the web-inf directory, and now save the .tld file in tag directory. So inside the web-inf, one tags folder is there, and in this tag folder we save this TLD file. After this file path is web-inf tag and a library, and this is a code. And if you want to use these TLDs, then we use taglib URI, the web tag file path, and prefix, we can use the prefix, and by after using the prefix we can use the tag. So this is what a simple way to create TLD file. And once we create TLD files, once we create a dot class file, then this is the time to use it. So after we see how we can use custom tag. So we use taglib directive, and inside the taglib directive we keep URI, path of this custom tag, and we mention the prefix, and we use tag. So where we use, so our prefix is custom, so custom, and current date is our tag. So see, we create our tag name is current date. See here, so we use that name only to access the current date. So we see we use custom. Custom is our prefix, see the prefix, and current date is our tag name. So this is how we can easily create custom tag and implement it in our JSP. So first of all, what we needed, we need one dot class file where we write a code that what we want to perform with this tag. So we create one file. After creating the file, we creating one .tld file, tag library descriptions file, and after creating a tag library descriptions file, place this file in tag folder inside the webinf folder, and after placing it we can use the tag by using tag lib directive provided by URI, and prefix is user defined, then we can use any prefix. Here we use custom and then call our user defined tag, and this user defined tag is current date. So this is